And they said if anything ever happened to him, it would be because of somebody over in his apartment. Could be a burglary. Could be somebody that he wronged in the past, and they're coming back for vengeance. Crept in. Maybe whatever happened inside the house. You know what position his bedroom is at? Back that way up. Okay, I'll come back and talk to you in just a second. Okay, every blind on the house was shut tight. There was no gap, no angle, no way to see inside. Nose over though. Like but he does. Sean knows Bill, right? He's been over there and he's seen Bill too. I mean, I'm sure he has. He stepped out of the interview room and left her sitting alone again. By that point, she had already placed herself near the scene and admitted driving the victim's car. Sitting alone in that room, she had time to think up more stories. But the more she talked, harder it would be to keep them straight. One thing she couldn't deny was driving the dead man's car. Investigators already had her on CCTV behind the wheel of the red Ford Focus. After about 40 minutes, the detective returned. This time he spoke differently. He hinted that they already knew a lot about where she had been. So, let me ask you something. Do you have a phone? No. You don't have a phone? How come? Was on a Saturday. Taylor, you went to your dad's today. Were you there earlier this week? Like Monday or Tuesday? Let me rephrase that. You were there earlier this week, and you had 2 white males with you. Who was those 2 white guys that are with you? 'Cause I've already talked to you, Grandpa. Okay, and right there by the side, your grandpa's at school. Yeah, that school's got video and it shows you showing up with 2 white males. So, I'm just kind of curious. Who are those 2 white males on? Taylor kept pretending she didn't understand the situation. The detective stopped circling the issue and confronted her directly. She was now the main suspect in a murder investigation, and it was time to start telling the truth. So, you don't think that's Bill's car? I mean, if it is, it is amazing. Do you know why that's Bill's car? Why? 'Cause he's dead. They beat him to death, and you're driving the car from a man who's been beat to death. Oh, and I don't know that you ain't got something to do with it, and you want to play tough girl with me. And let me tell you, this is not going to work out for you real good. Oh my. He's been beat to death. No. You think I'm lying? You think. Why the hell you think I'm here? Do you know why I'm here? Do you know what my title is? Huh? Homicide. Hey, it's got real. You talk about losing your girls, you've been losing for a lifetime. I didn't do anything though. You know what? You're needing this right now. You better start coming clean with us. I am. I told you. I'm just letting you know. Here's where we're at, Taylor. I'm going to be honest with you. Today, you know what today is. Today is July the 11th of 2019. Okay? I want you to remember this day, 'cause this is the day that determines how the rest of your life goes. Just listen to me. You don't say a word. You just sit here and process this. The officer moved around the house and checked the kitchen door. She looked for any sign of forced entry. Then she walked toward a bedroom window Denton had pointed out earlier. Maybe there was. Go either really good for Taylor, or this can go really bad for Taylor, because I can promise you I'm really good at what I do, okay? I promise you. So, if you give a damn about Bill, if you didn't kill him, if you didn't beat the hell out of that old man, why would I do that? You're driving the car that was taken after they beat him. You better come up with who had this damn car or who you took over there with you that seen him and went back and targeted him. I told you. Listen to me. Here's the truth. You better start coming up with some full names because you know what? Who do you need to think of right now? Who's the most important person in your life right now? The detective leaned into that moment, hoping the pressure would finally break through her defenses. You're driving around a dead man's car. I didn't know he was dead. I wasn't there. But you know the people who probably killed him. I told you, I got the car from Sean who. She repeated the same story. A man named Sean had given her the car, but the detective had already looked into that. There were 2 men named Sean connected to people in her circle in the apartment that you pointed out. Yeah, the guy that old man died in had a heart attack and died in one last week, and the other one's got an old woman that lives in it. If Sean doesn't exist, then it's Taylor who is the killer. I'm giving you an opportunity right now. I mean, I'm telling you. Okay, tell me, I told you. I'm telling you. Like, bro, let me ask you this. If you had to get Sean right now, where would you go get him at? 4. What apartment number? It's in the corner. There's 4, 5, 6, 7. It's either 5 or 6. I don't know who it is. Who's you stay with? A woman? A woman? How old? I don't know. Older. Who it be? Feeling boxed in, she said it could be Sean. Okay, talk to me. Why do you see Sean doing this, Taylor? 'Cause he's a drug? He's crazy. You know, he has problems. I mean, I don't. Are you scared of Sean? This is the only opportunity you want to have, Taylor. See, you know, you and Sean probably talk. No, I didn't know this. I would have, well, you have some knowledge, but you're scared of Sean, ain't you? Well, of course. Think he'll kill you too? No, I didn't think he's capable. I did. I don't know. I don't know what it is. She found an opening and blamed everything on Sean. We need to know who Siwan is. He's an evil person. We need to know who he is, Taylor. He's an evil person. Like, I don't want to tell him. Like, you don't want to tell nobody? I'm scared. So, you're willing to go to prison for him? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, you know who he is, Taylor? Listen to me. Listen, I'm about to play. I'm ready to just put you in jail. Bugging me on the needles. You got my baby tickets for me. Taylor claimed Sean had assaulted her. Something there that could explain where Bill had gone. As she stepped closer, something hit her. A smell, strong and sharp. At first, she wondered if it might be coming from a nearby trash can. Ruined her life and played a role in her losing custody of her kids. I get it from Opper. I'll be back in a minute. The story suggested she had known Sean for a while, but something about it didn't add up. Every time the detective asked for details about him, Taylor said she only knew his first name. The detective returned with a photo lineup of men named Sean and asked her to point him out. If this goes to trial and he send him to prison, he may find out then, but he won't be able to get to you. Sure. Well, if he killed this man, I'm going to put him in prison. He deserves to go to prison if he killed this poor old man. You should see how bad he was beaten. No, I'm scared because I understand that, honey. I understand that. But I'm telling you, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure he doesn't hurt you. Okay, he's a big man. Well, I'm a big dude too. Circle the photograph. The guy used to give you the cart. After she finally identified Sean, the detective stepped out of the room to run a background check. What Taylor didn't realize was that this move was about to collapse the story she had just built. So, this is the guy you saying you got a car from? Are you sure? What are you in jail? What, you been in jail since June the 6th? You think I'm making this up? No. So if he's in jail, how do you give you the car? You better rethink this, Taylor. Investigators quickly confirmed that her story wasn't true. You're going to jail for what? Well, for that by receiving and for obstructing government operations for a homicide investigation. So here's what we're going to do before we go, though. We're going to have to swap your hands and get your DNA. So that's part of the homicide investigation. So we'll be coming in here in just a second to do that. Okay. Up to that point, she had acted confused. But when the detective mentioned she had been caught with a stolen car, her tone changed. She was much sharper than she was pretending to be. This is so confusing. How can you arrest me? The car is not stolen. Can you let me? It was reported stolen, not by him though. So, you'll be in court. Taylor was then taken to a holding cell for the night, while detectives continued gathering evidence. The next day, she was brought back in. Her behavior had hit, but the more she stood there, the clearer it became. The smell wasn't coming from the garbage. It was coming from inside the house. Before jumping to conclusions, the officer decided to check their system to see what now changed again. The confidence she showed earlier was gone. Now, she looked nervous and uncertain. You want to know what happened to Bill? I didn't know to see a picture of it. You believe he's dead now? Yeah. You still think this is all a joke? No. Did you sleep last night? Me thinking about this, ain't you? What did I tell you was going to happen? I said, you ain't going to be able to get this off your mind. You won't sleep. This, what haunts you. I've done this a long time. I've done this probably longer than you've been alive. There's only one way you're ever going to get any relief, or you're going to get any closure. You're going to have to tell us the truth of everything you know, and you haven't done it yet. I'm not trying to be ugly to you, Taylor. I just know you haven't told us everything. But what I'm telling you is you do have information you're not giving us. Are you scared of the person who's involved in this? I don't know who's involved in it. You do. I don't. You do. William Dubois was beaten to death. The cause of death was blunt force trauma, with 27 separate injuries across his body. You don't believe anything? I'm sorry. You don't believe anything? I don't believe liars, okay? And you're a damn liar. You need to be out there getting a real killer. Well, you need to be helping us. If you even cared about the old man that's been beat to death and shot, you need to be helping us. I want you to remember that picture every night of your life. Of course you do. Every night. During questioning, Taylor said she didn't even know William had died. But when the detective mentioned a gun, she quickly corrected him. That reaction raised more suspicion. Definitely no. More than you're telling us. This is not the first time that me and you have talked. I've been out multiple times where you have jumped on people and beat people up. Her behavior kept changing. One moment, she seemed scared. The next moment, she sounded irritated and defensive again. I've been out multiple times for you jumping on people. You have a bad temper. I don't think that's why you've been in. You explode and you do stuff that you regret afterwards. I don't regret. You have way more information than you're telling us. Detectives asked where she was on the night of the murder. Taylor said she was asleep at her grandfather Denton Stringer's house. What she didn't know was that detectives had already spoken to him. So, here's where we have a problem. Okay, your grandpa has told us that during the night on Tuesday, he heard loud noises. Information they had on Bill. Maybe Denton Stringer was Bill's contact number. Okay, I'm just going to get your information. Do you have his cell phone number? I don't got his number. I thought I did have what's his name. Bill. That's all I know is Bill. That's all I called him. You said to boy. The call note said yo from Bill's house and woke him up. He then saw that you were not there. I don't know how I was in bed. And then the next morning you're gone and the car is also gone. That should have been a tough position to recover from. Still, Taylor tried to explain her way around it. I don't know 'cause what time did you hear the loud noises? I don't know what time that was 'cause the only thing I think of me not being there. I was at the casino, but other than that, I was at my grandpa's. I was asleep at my grandpa's. When did you go to the casino? Like 5:00. And why didn't you tell me that? Oh, I told you I left early in the morning. That part of her story checked out. She had been there. After that, detectives allowed her to call her mother. When she returned from the phone call, she brought up a new name, Joseph Rogers. Would like to ask you for you to tell us the truth. The truth. I told y'all the truth today. But I just didn't tell you all of it. But I told y'all the truth. Taylor, then do this favor. Just start from the beginning. Whatever you told us in the past, we're not going to even bring it up. So, just tell us in the beginning what happened. And exactly the truth, the way it happened. Okay, I said Joe came over that night. That's when he asked me where my sugar daddy lives and all that. That was true. I told him he pointed at my uncle and said no. That's where my uncle lives, and I told him where he lived. And he told me that he asked me what he had in the house, and I told him that he didn't have, like he would have nothing to even do anything with. And then he told me that he's like, will you knock on the door? I knocked on the door, and then he went in. I left. That's when I went to McDonald's, and I came back. He told me he took care of it. I didn't kill them. I didn't do nothing like that. Kept asking him what happened. What happened? What happened? He kept telling me that he took care of it, that it's okay, that he finished it, blah, blah, and nothing's going to come about it. And he just kept telling me that it might be. They know him better than I do. Oh, they do? Yeah. He goes over there and talks to them. Okay, most people knew him as Bill, but his legal name was William Dubois. When the officer searched that name, it did it. He's like, you need to get rid of them TVs. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm not touching them. And that's when I had pee on him, like I didn't know. If I knew all that, I would have took his car. Believe me, if I knew he knew him. Was dead like that, you know. Like Taylor said a man named Joe had loaded televisions into the car and handed her the keys before walking away. She drove to the casino afterward where Joe later showed up again. According to her, he had no blood on him either at the house or at the casino. By this point, detectives had heard several versions of the story, so they asked her to take a polygraph test. Taylor agreed, but when the test results came back, it was certain she was lying again. When confronted again, she came up with another story. This time she admitted the robbery had been her idea, but she said she didn't kill William. She claimed Joe Rogers did. All she did was knock on the door so William would open it. And then Joe stepped in. His assumption of a sugar daddy is that he's got money and he's got stuff, and that's why he showed up. Did you invite him over to save us do this, or he just showed up? He just came over. Did he ever come into the apartment with you and your grandpa? And you went out and talked to him and he wanted to know where Sugar Daddy lived. And did he tell you what he was going to do? Did he say, hey, we're going to rob him. We're going to get some money so we can get high. He said that he was going to take him, but I figured rob, not kill. Is it possible they'll start to put up a fight? So, I was thinking robbery. So, you've been in Bill's apartment several times. There's a red blanket in there. Where'd Bill keep that red blanket? On the couch. Well, I'm just wondering if you ever seen him over there. Like, if you ever seen him wrapped up in it, whatever. What was Bill wearing when he entered the door? What? I don't know. Pants like bed shorts. Bad shorts. What do you have a shirt on? Do you remember? I don't know. When officers found William Dubois inside his home, he was wearing black shorts and no shirt. I really don't give a if you're in the mood or not. Of course you don't. All right? I'm a rude person. I'm not a rude person. Yes, you are. You're a rude, cold, heartless murderer. That's what you are. No, I'm not. Look at you. You have no defense for yourself. I'm not because you killed the old man. No, I didn't. I know what I'm capable of. I'm not. Appear in their records on a very bad list. But that detail wasn't the focus right now. What mattered was that William Dubois might be in trouble. Denton had been worried enough to walk. Yeah, you're capable of that. You're right in the middle of all of it. And why you don't think you're so tough? I told you what happened. You ain't told us nothing. You make up everything to point the finger at everybody else. It's not going to quit. You're going to keep having your little nightmares that you have, and I hope you do for the rest of your life. A few hours later, the detective sat down with the Taylor Elkins again. He had already spoken with her grandfather, Denton Stringer, and asked him whether he had seen a man named Joe that night. Denton said he had not, but he also mentioned something that made the detective question Taylor's latest story. Well, we talked to Grandpa. Yeah, your grandpa specifically says that you said, let's go rob the old man. And your grandpa told you, Taylor, We're not robbing the old man. Why would your grandpa tell us that? Probably just get out of trouble. Like, what would he be in? I don't know. Like I said, everything points back to me. But I didn't. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just being honest with you what your grandpa said. And I'm curious why he would say that. I don't know. Did you make that comment? No. Were you needing some money? Could you have made that bend so high? Maybe you were needing money, that you maybe said something like that. Maybe not being clear about what you're saying. I mean, is that possible? Surely he's not just making it up. I don't think I ever said, let's go rob the next door neighbor. I don't think I said that. So, what do you think you could have said that your grandpa could misunderstand? What do you think? Rob somebody but not rob the next door neighbor. That wasn't said. And I know for a fact I wasn't said because I've never thought about that. I've never thought about robbing the next door neighbor. You don't have to rob. You robbed anybody? No. Taylor insisted she never went inside William's apartment after Joe entered. She said she never touched the televisions either. According to her, Joe only handed her William's pills and the car, nothing else. She repeated that she stayed outside the entire time and never stepped into the apartment after Joe was finished. But detectives already had reasons to believe she was lying again. So, I was at the murder scene. I was there watching it. I was there. Like, which one? Was like that's how y'all are acting. I don't know. I was not there. I was not there. You were there. No. Yeah. You were there. No, I wasn't. Yeah, you were there. So now I was there, and we were there. We got things that we're going to collect, and we're going to be able to prove. Investigators knew that William Dubois had fought back. The attacker didn't bring him down right away. The scene showed signs that someone had tried to clean parts of the house after the house. Across the street and borrow a phone from a nearby business just to call 911. I understand. So, you don't have a phone, so you walked over there. Yeah, you should get a phone. I had a phone. I got me a phone and my daughter when she left. She stole it. Denton had his own reputation around the neighborhood. People knew he had ongoing attack, wiping areas of the floor to remove evidence. But one detail stood out. Officers found strands of hair clenched in William's hands. The color and texture of the hair matched Taylor's. They have asked me to come in here and take some hair samples from you. We will try to make this as fast and pleasant as possible. It was a young woman who lived just a few steps away. Someone connected to the very neighbor who called police to check if he was okay. But in the end, the evidence didn't bend. She never confessed during questioning. But later, while in custody, she admitted the truth to another inmate. She said she had gone to William's home planning to borrow money. When he told her he didn't have any, she got angry. In that moment, she grabbed a hammer and attacked him. Denton Stringer, Joseph Rogers, and the man she called Sean had nothing to do with the crime. They were names Taylor used to shift attention away from herself. Taylor Elkins tried to distance herself from the crime, but every version of her story only pulled her closer to it. And eventually the investigation reached the same quiet truth, waiting inside that small house on Glenwood Avenue. On October 9, 2019, Taylor Elkins was charged with first-degree murder. In January 2020, she accepted a plea deal. The agreement removed the possibility of a life sentence, but it still meant decades behind bars. She received a sentence of more than 40 years in prison with her first chance at parole set for 2015. If you found this case as gripping as I did, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more real stories just like this one. And if you have a case you'd like to see covered next, drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story. Family issues, and there was often some kind of tension around his place. But why tell you I was in bed and I heard a big boom? What day was this? That was a couple days ago. No. So, today's Thursday. Well, okay. Thursday the Tuesday. Okay. That's something wrong. Go inside. Go inside. Get out of this heat and I'll come talk to you in just a second. Okay. Thank you. That's when her supervisor arrived on the scene. She quickly brought him up too. Okay, here's our biggest issue we have right now is the car is missing. Oh no. Yes, I wasn't seeing anything there. I haven't tried the windows yet. Wait till you round the corner. That's when I know there's a trash can. But can you smell that? On July 11th, 2019, officers in Fort 19. Speed. The car's not here. However, I have one piece of mail. He said 2 nights ago he heard a really loud boom. So, it's not like him. It's not like him to be gone for 2 days. There's a odd smell when I open the door. No flies up here. When I rounded the corner, you only get it every now and then. I saw one fly in the window as if it was trying to get out. But it's a whiff every now and then. I was trying to get them to find a cell phone number for him. Channel his bedroom's in the back corner. I wasn't seeing anything there. I haven't tried the windows yet. Wait till you around the corner. That's when I know there's a trash can. But you smell that. The supervisor walked around the side of the house and noticed an exhaust vent. He leaned in closer where I saw the fly in the window. And this would be the bedroom. Smells like old must. Okay. With the car being gone, I'm trying to have dispatch see if he has a cell phone on file somewhere. See if we can call him. Maybe call a family member. I'll run him and see if he has maybe an emergency contact that might have, I'm getting it. Every right here. I know that smell. Every officer knows that smell. The smell of death. And it could be the trash can. The trash is empty, sir. I didn't see anything in that window. But I'm also not tall enough to see on the inside of the pane. Once I got there, it's only whiffs. I'm on the fence. Both William and Denton rented their places from the same landlord. A man named Bob. Maybe he had a spare key. Do you have the landlord's number? Yeah? The landlord would have a key, right? They should have. Okay. Are they pretty good with you? Oh yeah. Bob. Yeah. Let me give him a call. Yeah, Bob's real nice. Let me see, I think. Yeah. And Bill goes over there a lot, too, right? Yeah. V goes over there. That's when the officer decided to speak with the people at the business across the street. That was the place where Denton had gone earlier to make the 911 call. Inside were 2 women who had already heard about the situation and were waiting for the officers. Yeah, it's hot, so okay. So, the neighbor over there says that man sometimes comes over and talks with y'all. He does. Is it a regular thing that he comes over? Well, not a regular thing that he chase with us, or we'll buy something and he works at the McDonald's. Smith received a call for a welfare check at 1802 Glenwood Avenue. The request came from a neighbor who was worried about a 72-year-old man who lived alone there. His name was Bill. Right down here. Okay. And so, the one all the way at the On Grant. Yeah. And he's just kind of one of those people that he just watched used to be an old teacher, right? Yes. Okay. That's Christy Jo Waite, the name owner of the business. And the woman next to her is Susan Sharp. They both saw William 2 days ago. When last time he saw him or his car. Just not seen it probably 2 days. But that's what he's saying. I'm not sure when the last time Christy agreed that William disappearing like this was unusual. In fact, she admitted that if she had to guess who might cause trouble in the neighborhood, she would have pointed at Denton first, because he'll even tell us sometime, "Are you going to be gone, Or something, but he didn't said anything like that to us. And he just watches our place. But they fight out there. But Bill's always been really great to watch our place. Okay. After the officer learned he supposedly worked at McDonald's, she decided to call the employer. But if he worked there, he probably wouldn't be listed as Bill. They should have checked under his legal name. The landlord, Bob, answered his phone right away. Hey, this is Officer Hendricks with the Fort Smith Police Department. Is this Bob? Okay. I'm here to check the welfare of one of your tenants at 1802 South Glenwood. The moment he heard police were calling about one of his tenants, his mind jumped straight to Denton. In his eyes, Denton was always the one causing problems. Not William. Bob told the officer he would head over immediately with the keys. The officer called McDonald's again, and this time used the name William Dubois. Even then, the manager said no one by that name worked there. It's McDonald's, right? I've seen him somewhere and I just can't. People in the area knew Denton had frequent arguments at his house, often involving different women. Recently, he had even asked the shop owner to call William for him, saying his daughter had stolen his phone. It ended up taking Bob about 40 minutes to get there. When he finally arrived, he brought the keys with him. Officers unlocked the door and stepped inside the home. What they were about to see was something none of them were expecting. Know what it is. And there's no TV in the living room. That's missing. Inside the bathroom they found William's body. It quickly became clear that this wasn't a natural death. The scene suggested something else entirely. Possibly a burglary gone wrong. What? The neighbor who made the call was Denton Stringer. A few days earlier, he had heard a strange noise coming from Bill's house. Since then, he hadn't seen him once. Started as a simple welfare check in Fort Smith had just turned into a homicide investigation. Is that splatter on the doorframe? What is that splatter on the doorframe? Yes. Spider. Okay, there's a dog right there. No? I was just going to tell him the guy said so. You think he was like, that's weird. There was maybe his door was unlocked. There's no phone either. The scene was rough. Blood splatter showed up in several parts of the house. Many electronics were gone. William's car was missing too. It looked like he fought back. One thing stood out to the officers. The walls were thin. If a struggle like this happened, how did Denton next door not hear anything? He said he heard a loud noise. But like I said, the neighbor, the people across the street said they would suspect him. The same neighbor who called 911, Denton Stringer, was now starting to look like the main suspect. I didn't even notice his TV's missing too. TV's missing. No wallet, no phone, both TVs. He had one of the bedroom too. Yeah, no. For entry. I think we need to talk to this guy. William's front door had been locked from the outside. Denton lived close enough that William could have given him a spare key. Because of that, investigators started focusing on him. They needed to figure out if he was just a worried neighbor or someone who knew much more about what happened to William Dubois. Yeah, I talked with them over there. They said he comes over a lot and talks with him. And they said if anything ever happened to him, it would be because of somebody over at his apartment. This guy's the one that called it in, he said. Around Tuesday, he believes it was Tuesday. Okay? But on Tuesday, he said around 11:00 p.m., he heard a loud noise. Said as if somebody fell to the ground. But he didn't hear anything after that. Didn't see anything. Nothing like that. There's no forcing. I said, does he ever have people come over? He says every now and then his wife and his daughter and their grandson come over. But that's about it. If Denton's timeline was right, William had been dead for more than 48 hours. But the body was still in relatively good condition. The AC was turned all the way up. Fans were running throughout the house. The place had been ransacked, meticulously. Whoever did this had time and made sure the scene would sit unnoticed. Shelves and drawers were open all over the house. Several valuables were gone. At first, it looked like, hello, how are you, man? Good? Him? Yeah. He's not answering. He's not going to answer. But, I was laying in my bed the other night, and I can't remember what time it was because, something false sound like a, did you have a car? Yeah, I had a car. But, robbery. But there were no signs of forced entry. That changed the whole picture. The person responsible likely had a key. This wasn't looking like a random break-in. It suggested someone who knew William. Could be a burglary, could be somebody that he wronged in the past, and they're coming back for vengeance. The landlord Bob had William's wife listed as the emergency contact. When he learned William had died, he wanted to call her, but officers asked him to wait. Not long after that, William's son arrived at the house. That's his son. That's his son. Turns out his cousin had seen the police outside the home and called him right away. 60-something. My mom's at home. My cousin just came and showed up and told me that you guys were really okay. William had some health problems. So, the family first assumed he may have passed away naturally. Said like strokes and everything. That's when William's son mentioned something important. The red Ford Focus was brand new and had a tracker installed. The car was technically owned by William's wife, Susan Dubois, and she could track it using a phone app. Black box in the UET tracker. Yeah, only Susan had access to that tracker. We're going to go to his house and break it to Mom. Okay, his wife, which they are married. Okay, we're going right now. That's my cousin. Okay, you want to get in your car and we'll follow you there. Yeah, okay. That's exactly what they did. Officers drove to Susan's home. They needed to notify her about William's death, but they also needed that tracking information. The missing red Ford Focus was now a priority for the entire Fort Smith Police Department. Whoever had that car could be the killer. William and Susan Dubois were separated, but never officially divorced. Their son and daughter lived with her. The children weren't very close to William anymore. But the news still hit Susan hard. Hi, Miss Susan. And I'm Officer Ricks. I'm sorry meeting you under these circumstances. Where's his car? His car's been gone for 2-3 days. Well, maybe he's gone? They haven't told us. Okay. At first glance, it didn't look like a big deal. Bill's car wasn't in the driveway, which usually meant he had gone somewhere. Officers see that all the time on welfare checks, but Denton kept insisting something felt off. Bill, you know me. I've seen you at doorside games. I have been there. I'm sure I can tell by the way you're acting that you've already been notified. Okay, they needed her help to find the car as quickly as possible. In every death investigation, we do a complete investigation from top to bottom because we don't want to leave any stone unturned. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm a retired nurse, so okay. Well, he and Den were not saying this is a homicide at this point. Okay. No. He had a heart condition and strokes, and he could have fell and hit his head, but there's some blood there that we're concerned about. Does that make sense? He probably fell. Okay. He's acting so strange Saturday. Here's our biggest issue. He was acting strange Saturday. Okay. Here's our biggest issue we have right now is the car is missing. Oh no. Yes. Where's your tracker? Do you have a tracker on that car? Okay. Using the tracking app, Susan located it. The car was sitting in a residential neighborhood. It's parked at a house. Oh, snap. Police rushed to the address and spotted the red Ford Focus parked in the driveway. Hello, how you doing? Y'all live here? I don't. I'm coming. Okay. You live here? No, I just got the yard. Okay. That's when the officer noticed movement inside the house. What's wrong? They're looking out the window. We got people looking out the window. So, can I go? Let's go inside. Let's go get your wallet. You want to go too? No, you can go. You can do whatever you got to do. Hang tight for me right here. We're going to come. We're going to go. I'll go over here. Let's all go over here. Someone in the house looked like they were trying to stay out of sight. The officers knew this could turn dangerous. Anyone behind that door was now a person of interest. 2 people were taken into custody outside the house, but officers could see others were still inside and they had barricaded themselves in. Somebody just shut the front door. Okay, so, basically they came out the back. They tried to go out the back. They said they were going outside to smoke. Somebody just shut the front door on me. So yeah, that's what I'm trying not to be a sitting duck. The yard looked freshly mowed, which matched what one of the men had told officers. The property was under a lease belonging to Randall Perkins. Police department. Hey, come out with your hands up. We know you're in here. Come out. Boardsmith Police Department. Go ahead. Hold traffic. People started coming out one by one. It's okay. It's okay. Just come out on the side of the house. What have we done wrong? Who else is here? It's an investigation. Investigation. We're going to explain that. We're going to explain that. Who else is in here? Come on. What's going on? Just walk out to that side of the house for me. Who else is in here? Is anybody else in here? Just walk out here, right here to the right. Then a woman stepped outside. The officer immediately recognized her. That's Taylor. Who else is in here? She had a long record. Just the week before, officers had been there with care, child services, and removed her children. Get over there so they don't think you're sick. Get over there. Okay, get over there. She appeared to be struggling and may have just ended up in the wrong situation. She told officers, wasn't the type to disappear without anyone noticing. He would okay. What kind of car does he drive? He drives a red Ford. There were still more people inside the house. Come out with your hands up. Keep your hands in the air where I can see them. Keep your hands in the air where I can see them. Good. Keep walking. Keep them up. Keep walking. Walk toward me. Pick, okay? Randall, go ahead. Step off that porch and to your right on the side of the house. Okay? Okay? Okay. Who else is back here? I don't know who came out. This is very serious investigation. Fort Smith Police Department. This is your last opportunity. Come out with your hands up. Officers kept calling for the last person to come out. No one answered. Eventually, they cleared the house. At that point, everyone was already outside on the lawn. Background checks were run on the group. One of them turned out to be a wanted man. He's got a war on man out of all of them. I know, man. Sorry. When officers started asking about the red Ford Focus, every person there pointed to the same person. 21-year-old mother of two. Taylor Elkins. Police separated Taylor from the rest of the group. Officer Hendricks, obviously. Did he read you your Miranda rights? Yeah, he did. Like your rights, your right to an attorney. Everything like that. Stolen. Okay? It's not stolen yet. That's where we're at. Okay? I really okay. Well, tonight, why did you say? There was a white guy in there. There's a white guy in there. Did you say there was a white guy? Or the other girl? Okay, that must have been where'd you get the car. I already told him. You tell me. Okay, that boardwalk. It's just like a friend. That's it. The friend let me park. Who's the friend? His name is Sean, but I don't know his last name. White or black, he's white. And like 'cause a lot of happened to me. I've been, I went to jail and cough, but my kids got taken from me and everything. You know what I'm saying? And I've been having to do, and I have no way anywhere. So, she told officers she got the car from a man named Sean. According to her, he was a user. She didn't know his last name, didn't have his number, and had no idea where he was. He thought it was no. I didn't say it was Thor. No, like I don't know. Okay, Sean liked her, and had simply let her borrow the car. You give him any money for it or anything? No, like he likes me like that. We're just friends. What's his name on Facebook? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a phone. I don't get on my Facebook. All right, where do you live at? You know where I live at. Windsor? Yes. Well, that is correct. The officer knew exactly where she lived, and that cracked the case wide open. Greenwood address is her grandparents' house? Who? 1802. Yeah, I swear to you, she's bonded out to that address out of Crawford County. She's got like 10 felonies. You've got to be kidding me. During a previous arrest, Taylor had listed her address as her grandparents' home. It was the same duplex where William Dubois lived. Taylor Elkins was the granddaughter of Denton Stringer. Sergeant, her address is the neighbor's address. Huh? Her address is the neighbor's 1808. South Greenwood is her grandpa or her dad. That's what I'm telling you. That's her grandpa's house. She's bonded out there 'cause I arrested her 2 weeks ago, and then like a week after she got domestic assault, the guy that called it in. Now, the two main suspects were linked. Taylor was Denton's granddaughter, and she was likely the same daughter people had mentioned earlier during the investigation. On it, the officer walked up and knocked on the front door. No answer. She paused and looked around the property, focusing on the missing car. If Bill had been in an accident, maybe that could explain. I talked to the business owners at that little resale thing across the street. They said if anything bad happened to the guy in 1802, it's going to be the people at 1800. But what officers uncovered next would shift the focus almost entirely on Taylor. She's on camera, leaving on the Ballman cameras, leaving on the 8th with this vehicle. With this connection and the stolen car, investigators began to see her role in William's death more clearly. Taylor Elkins was taken in for a formal interrogation. Detectives put her in an interview room and left her alone for about 10 minutes. All right, Tiger. So you know why you're down here, right? Yeah. Why are you down here? So, supposedly, the car is stolen. I don't know. I had it in my well. I didn't have it in my sea well. I don't know how to say it. It wasn't in my property. I wasn't in the car or nothing like that. But it was stolen. And everybody pointed their fingers at me. And I mean, I admitted to driving it, so, okay. So, you said it wasn't on your property, but everybody pointed at you. I mean, it was, so, basically you drove the car there then, or they would. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying that. Yeah, okay. How long have you had the car? For a couple days. Like, when? Today's Thursday. According to her timeline, she received the car around midnight. That happened to be around the same time William was last seen alive. And where did he get her from? His dude named Sean? Sean who? I don't know his last name. I don't know his last name. I say hate to him basically. He's just a friend like he does drugs, you know. So I mean you don't. I don't know, everybody's black. Taylor told the detective that after child services took her kids away, she was devastated. She said she had been spending time with her cousin and her aunt during those days. At some point, a man named Sean offered her a car, and she borrowed it. Later, she ended up at the house where officers eventually detained her. Though surprisingly, she didn't really know anyone there. I went to McDonald's after we left Clarksville. So when we came back, we got stopped at McDonald's and went back to the house. Okay, it had been nowhere else. No, 'cause I didn't go anywhere this morning. You've been arrested lately? Yeah. When's the last time you were arrested? Last week when I got my kids. Okay, it was Miller and this other guy. Okay. What address did you use when you bought out? It's Winder. You sure? Or was my grandpa's? Who's your grandpa? Denton. Stringer. See, that's why I bought it out too. Oh, okay. Yeah. Did he bond you out? Everything. Bill drove a brand new red Ford Focus. The officer checked recent reports, but there had been no accidents involving a car like that in the last few days. That's when another thought. No. Oh, okay. No, he can't afford it. 1800 wet. Greenwood Avenue. Taylor confirmed that Denton Stringer was her grandfather. She also admitted she had been driving William's car for a few days. The detective then wanted to know, was she at her grandfather's place when the crime happened? So, how often you go? To your grandpa's? I've not been there for days. When's the last time you were over there? Today. Okay. When's the last time prior to that you were over there? 2 days ago. Taylor said yes. She was at Denton's house during the same period when William Dubois was killed. The detective then asked about her connection to William. You know any of the neighbors around there? My uncle's a neighbor. Who's your uncle? Chris. Oh, well, Chris who? Campbell. So, what about the guy that lives right next door to him? You know him? Yeah. Who's that? His name's Bill. Bill what? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I don't know people's names. Oh yeah. How old is Bill? Huh? How old is Bill? Oh, I don't know. When was the last time you seen Bill? I don't know. I don't know. He works during the day. He works during the day. Where's he work at? My grandpa said he's a school teacher. And then, a McDonald's. Okay. I don't know how the hell he does both, but he does. Wow. Instead of pushing that question further, the detective turned the conversation toward the car to see how she would react. So, this car you've been riding around in, whose car is that? I don't know. You never seen that car before? I've seen it. Where? Where? Oh my. Where? Taylor. Oh my God. That's his car. Where Taylor? There. That's his car. I think you kind of knew that. No, I didn't. I didn't. I think you did. I didn't. I think you did. I didn't. I think you know Bill. I know Bill. Yeah. How would you know him? I don't know him that well. And when's the last time you seen him? Like I said, like he come in and out. I don't know. I don't pay attention to him. Like he ain't nothing to me. Really? He ain't nothing to me. You kinda got all defensive all of a sudden on me? I'm just kind of curious 'cause you all look in my face now. No, you got all defensive before I ever scoot. No, like you're in my face like this. I want to make sure that we're understanding each other, and we are. Okay. I don't know. I ain't like pay attention. I be doing my own thing all the time. Okay. So, why are you staring at me like that? Okay. I'm just trying to figure out if you're being honest with me. Taylor acted like she had just realized the car belonged to William. The detective obviously didn't buy that. So Sean gave you the car, and you had no idea it was Bill's car. How am I supposed to know it's Bill's car? I didn't go through it. When you're a small girl and you just figured it out real quick. Because I'm looking at it now like what that you put it. But how could it be his car though? So, how does Sean know Bill? No, I don't know. He does. He